Like, I feel like you're the Mr. Beast of
No, please don't compare me to Mr.
fingerboarding,
Beast. No,
like for
no.
fingerboarders, like, in our niche. Welcome to USA FBL Fingerboard Podcast. I'm your host, Levine Cunningham, and I'm excited to be chatting with Jack Perry of Fingerboarder. Jack is known as Fingerboarder on Instagram. Jack, thanks for coming on the podcast. How you been?
Super well, man. I am super stoked to be here. This is the number one podcast in fingerboarding. Let me tell you that.
I appreciate that. That means a lot. There's some other people in the game, so that means a lot to me.
Cool, man. I'm glad. I'm glad.
Well, I'm stoked to have you on the podcast. It's not very often I get, I guess you would say, giant influencers on the cast.
I'm definitely more of a niche mid-size influencer, if you even want to say that.
Well, some would argue in the fingerboarding game, like you're like divine spirituality like level, like
No, that definitely nothing
influencing.
like that. So I don't know, follower count, like the way people perceive follower count nowadays is very like distorted, because you can have one really, really good video and just totally knock yourself up there and get yourself over 100K. Like I know I've had one video. The main goal of it was to encourage people to follow me, and I gained like 50,000 followers on YouTube just from one video. So like that's how it can kind of all be distorted. You know what I mean?
See, for the little guys like me and a lot of us others, like 50,000 on one video is unheard of. Like that's a yearly goal, not like a one video like type thing. So you're definitely doing big things, and I see
I
you.
definitely did not expect that when I did it. I don't know if anybody remembers it. It was one of those videos that was just like, it started out with me saying, I've been fingerboarding for 15 years. I was basically just like telling the story, like why I started fingerboarding and stuff like that. And I just listed off all the accomplishments that I have made while fingerboarding. And at the end, I said, so why aren't you following me yet? And I guess like if somebody's looking to gain your followers, try something like that. Like just really try to convince people to follow. Have a call to action in your videos. That's something a lot of fingerboarders don't have, is something I noticed.
Man, so I'm excited to get into this because you're already dropping golden nuggets, and we were not
I'm
even
an
two
open book. You
minutes.
guys can anything. I will tell you absolutely anything. If anybody has any questions about content creation, I'm always willing to help. People are always willing to help me, so I feel like it's best to give it back.
No, I feel the exact same way. I try to pay it forward as much as possible. So, all right, so strap in, everybody. It's about to get real on the USAFBL Fingerboard podcast.
Let's go.
Let's do it. All right, so let's just backpedal like way back. Let's go. Let's get some origin stories out of you because I know I've seen like on your Instagram, I see you like posting a lot of skate clips, like real life skateboarding stuff like that. So like I know like skateboarding is definitely in your blood.
So skateboarding is definitely in my blood. I'm born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. First of all, there's a decent skate scene here, but I actually didn't get my first skateboard until I was 16 years old because I don't know if a lot of people know this. I told some people, or I announced it on my channels a long time ago that my parents didn't let me skateboard as a child. So that's kind of where the fingerboarding comes in. So I got my first board when I was 16. It was actually my friend's spare board, and I would go to the skate park behind my parents' back to learn how to do it.
That's wild. I have the same ordeal. My parents wouldn't let me skateboard either. Is it because people got hurt, or what was their reasoning behind it?
They have told me just things like they were afraid medical bills would be expensive. They didn't want to see me get hurt, and I could hang out with the wrong crowd of people. There was definitely this is like we're like talking around 2009, 2010 when I first started asking for a skateboard. So it was mainstream, but it's not like now when you have people like Nigel Houston just completely running the scene and it's popular everywhere. Everybody knows about it.
Yeah, that's wild. It sounds like your parents and my parents are like the exact same people for sure.
Hey, you know, they were totally okay with basketball and football, which if you didn't know, you are way more likely to get injured playing those sports than skateboarding. Look it up.
Which is wild because like I tore my MCL and I tore my ACL or rotor cuff on my shoulder as well.
So like I don't know if you've seen the movie Happy Gilmore, but when he's talking to Chubbs, he's like, an alligator bit my hand off, and my parents wouldn't let me play football because it was a little too dangerous. I don't know. I always think about that moment of that movie when I think about my parents not letting me skate.
That's wild. That's such a classic. All right, so Cincinnati, Ohio. So have you always lived in Cincinnati or
Yeah, born and raised in Cincinnati. Since we're talking about the local skate scene here, I figured I must mention we just got a pledge from the mayor from City Hall to build a brand new skate park in the inner city. Cincinnati's first inner city skate park is coming, I think, in 2025. We just got a $250,000 pledge from City Hall.
That's wild.
Very exciting. If believe it or not, Cincinnati just does not have a an inner city skate park. There's never been one. And I think you're from Indiana, so a ton right across the border in Indiana, a ton of skate parks have just been popping up. I'm sure
Hmm.
you and I think Cincinnati got a little jealous, and some people finally put it together, and it's happening.
Well, I mean, I still consider you to be the Midwest. You're a little east of it's about 2 hours, but I still consider you guys to be like the Midwest. But out here in the Midwest, we have parks everywhere. Like we got like
I,
4 or 5 just here in Indy.
yeah, over the last few years, I'm telling you, I know like I've been to the Major Taylor one that's out
Yeah,
there
that's a
before. I
popular one.
know
Yeah.
the funny thing about that park is that's like a template for a concrete park. I've skated the exact same park in Traverse City, Michigan, only it's like flipped sideways, if that makes sense. Like it's like a
Hmm.
mirrored version of that skate park. I've skated both of them. It's very weird. But to tell you the truth, man, I just do not skate that much anymore. Ever since my knee injury in 2020, which we can talk about if you want also. I've tried to get back into it a few times, but it's my knee is just not the same anymore, and it's a shame to say, but it's true.
I actually remember this. You just came, so me and you basically came back into fingerboarding like around the same time. Basically, it's 2020 COVID.
Yep.
And so I created like 5 or 6 fingerboarding groups. I'll probably throw up on the screen if you guys are watching this, but like the fingerboard skate park, fingerboard tips and tricks, DIY fingerboards. Like when I started in 2020, there was like no fingerboarding groups. Like the unlimited group didn't even come out to like 4 or 5 months after I started these up. There was just Techdeck and like worldwide fingerboarding group. And that was like it. And so I started all these groups. And then like this is when like we were small. Like I probably had like 400 or 500 like people in these groups, and like now we're at 20,000 plus. But anyways, like I remember like when we first started these groups, like you were in these groups at the beginning. Like I saw like your process and your like when you started like just getting into the groups, say like, hey, I'm Jack. I've got this YouTube channel I'm starting out. Like I remember like your very first post, and I
I know
remember
exactly
following
what you're
you.
talking about. So I literally, I don't want to make you feel bad or anything, but I literally went and found every single fingerboarding and skateboarding group, because at the time I was obsessed with growing my YouTube channel. That's all I wanted to do. I was just like, let me promote this thing anywhere I can. Let me do it. I went and searched for every skateboarding group and every single fingerboarding group on Facebook, and I found them. I think I found every single one of them. And for a good while, I would share my video into every single one of those groups. And after a while, I started to feel like I was annoying people, so I quit. But those Facebook groups, people don't understand how powerful they are. They are growing at a rate that I just can't believe. And I even started one myself with Gary Graves, Gary Graves 22 on Instagram. He was on this podcast recently, and I think he talked
Yeah,
about this group also. We have our very own Facebook group now called Street Fingerboarding, and it's growing very fast. We just hit 1,000 members.
that's all. That's really fast.
Dude, I know like every time I open up my Facebook, it's just like, oh yeah, this person and 15 others want to join street fingerboarding. And I heard you talk about in the episode with Gary how the spam starts to find its way in there. And
Is it getting there?
I'm starting to deny some people. I see what you mean. Like because they all like it's just like they have like a name that's just in completely Chinese letters or whatever. I'm just like, I don't know about this. Like, I'm really sorry if you tried to join my group and you actually wanted to, but my bullcrap meter is on high for that.
Once you hit a certain amount of members in your group, like you start attracting spammers and people just trying to throw. Some of it's okay, but it's not like necessarily fingerboarding like related. And so we get spammed with
Definitely.
a lot of stuff. And so it's
Facebook
interesting you're
has
getting
like
there.
there's a lot of problems with people trying to scam on there right now. Like it's just every time I get on Facebook, I see somebody trying to scam. Like it's just like a phishing link or I've used Facebook to get a lot of concert tickets in the past, and I just can't do that anymore because
Mm-mm.
so many people are just say like trying to sell fake tickets. It's insane. Like, and Facebook does absolutely nothing about it. I have no idea why.
It's wild. I don't even trust Marketplace anymore. Like 7 years, 8 years ago, like Marketplace was like the place to find everything. And I don't even trust Marketplace. So it's wild.
Local stuff is okay. I don't ship anything off Facebook Marketplace. I do that through places like eBay and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I like buy some stuff at thrift stores to resell occasionally on Facebook Marketplace, and it's still okay if you have somebody meet up with you.
Do it at your own discretion. Be safe. Be safe
Exactly.
out
Well,
there.
if anybody wants to like resell anything from the thrift store, I always meet at the police station. Like you can't go wrong with that. Just say if they don't want to meet at the police station, you can't don't sell it to them.
That's smart. I like that. I like that a lot. Man, see, all right, I did the exact same thing. I actually went out. I'm in like every single fingerboarding group, like known to man. I did it mainly for research purposes because trying to start the tour, trying to gather up as much information, just seeing what's out there and stuff like that. And so I think me and you definitely like kind of had like the same vibe, just different purpose, I guess you would say.
Yeah, we jumped in at the same time, like right before. I feel like fingerboarding, like in 2020, at this time frame, we're talking about just joining all these groups. Fingerboarding was just shooting up in popularity so fast. It's kind of hit its peak, I think. But at that time, it was just crazy. There were a ton of people probably doing exactly what we were doing. But it's crazy how I think fingerboarding was so popular in 2020. I don't really understand why it kind of just died off so quick like it did. You know what I mean? It's not like I
It's
don't think it's dead, but like in 20, it was crazy. Everyone was doing it.
Well, this is what's crazy, and I didn't catch it until after it was too late. But COVID, everybody was bored, everybody was laid off,
Mhm.
nobody was going out and doing anything. Everybody's at home, like, all right, let me dust off some of these old ramps. And so everybody got back into fingerboarding during COVID because there was literally nothing else going on. There was literally like a huge boom in like fingerboarding companies in 2020. Like, I don't think there's been more fingerboarding companies ever made in 1 year, like point blank period ever, like in the time of like fingerboarding history, in my opinion. It
Yeah,
seemed
I was
like there
definitely
was
gonna
two or
say
three
like
a
a
day.
ton of accounts like pop up, like just so many new fingerboarding accounts. I still see them come up. Like it's just like, oh, my friend finally made an account, go follow him. Like that was just happening on a level like I did not expect at all.
Yeah, it just overwhelmed the industry, and it got to a point where it was very saturated. And
Mhm.
so people were definitely like entering the market, but all the older like OGs, all the people that have been doing it for years, like obviously they stayed a staple. And then like all the people that were not consistent in what they were doing, they just kind of like lost interest or got discouraged and they kind of fell off.
Everybody was sitting at home on unemployment. They had nothing to do but fingerboard, you know?
Yeah, like had to go back to work and they're like, I gotta juggle work and school and whatever else I got going on in my life, along with, making fingerboards or obstacles and whatnot. And 9 times out of 10, the hobby has to take a back seat. And I think that's what happened.
Yeah, I think everything you said is so true. I've been working a lot more than I ever have, honestly, in recent months. The economy is just a little crazy at the moment. Like, if anybody's wondering why I don't upload at the rate I used to, I work over 40 hours a week now. I have two jobs. Like, I'm grinding it out over here.
That's what you have to do nowadays, man. It's tough out here. It's hard
Mhm.
out here for a pimp, as they say.
Hey, it's okay. I really like my jobs though. One of my jobs is in a country club that's a golf club. So that's what I was just doing this morning. I played 18 holes of golf this morning and I took a golf lesson and all of this was free because I work in the golf club. If you guys don't play golf, I'm sure you've seen me do it on my story. I absolutely love playing golf. It's my favorite, it's my favorite thing right now. But in my other job, I just got it, is in a private fine dining club in Cincinnati that's on the 20th floor of this building that just overlooks the skyline of the city.
I used to do I was a server for almost a decade, like getting through school and stuff. And I
Serving's an art, man.
honestly, it
Art.
is. I
Mhm.
mean, it's pretty easy. You just get the customer what they want as fast as possible and still kind of
It's
charm them a little
anticipating
bit
their needs
and
and having that
anticipating their
sense of
needs.
urgency.
Yeah.
Like that's where people like fall out on serving. They're just like they think people are too needy. I'm just like, you're look at your job look at your job title, bro. Like
But it just ends up, I mean, it's work, but it's like for me, like you don't really have to think a lot about it. So you just kind of hustle and bustle and do your thing and you walk home with a stack of cash. And it's
well,
always
exactly. Well,
been.
actually, my one of my job, I don't work for tips in my serving job. I make a flat rate because it's a country club. I guess the members aren't expected to tip. But I'd say the most valuable part I've gotten from serving recently, which is in a country club, is I've built a network of people that I really enjoy talking to. Like, let me just say the amount of like wealthy people that I have met has drastically increased since I got my job at the country club. Like, if you guys struggle with networking or anything like I did, maybe try something like that. It really worked out for me.
I used to golf all the time, especially when I lived in Branson, Missouri. Branson has like it's the golf mecca of the world. It has more golf courses, pro PGA golf courses in one area than any other place in the country.
So I literally think they stole that title from Cincinnati, where I live, because Cincinnati had that title at one point, and because there was like 70 golf courses within city limits of Cincinnati, and that's funny that where you were at, it took that title.
I mean, they talk about the PGA courses. We have like is it five now? It's like five PGA golf courses in like a 15-mile radius. It's absolutely wild.
That is insane.
Yeah, people come to Branson just for like golf excursions. Like it's absolutely nuts. You can literally come here for a full 7 days, play on like 5 or 6 like just championship golf courses, and like it's a wild experience.
Hey, that's the dream life. That's definitely what all these rich people that go to the country club that I work at do too. They just go on golf trips all the time. They absolutely love it. I'm sure they've been up there too.
Yeah, they'll come here and they'll be like, "Yeah, we went to Turtle Beach like 6 months ago," and I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "That's
Yeah.
just what they do, like them and the
Okay, so
boys."
there's one guy in my club. I don't want to say his name or anything, but he's one of the wealthiest guys there. I overheard him at his table the other day. He was like, my golf course in Scotland. He's like, I just went there. I went to Scotland for an entire week. I can't even play my own golf course because it was raining and weather the whole week. I was just like, I can't even like imagine where your head is at. Like that is just the most insane mindset I've ever heard in my life.
That's a whole nother ball game for that. But definitely, if you're looking to network with people that got some disposable income, like the country club
Golf.
is definitely
Yeah.
a hot spot.
Yeah. Give it a shot. The finance bros love golf.
When did fingerboarding become something that you started doing?
So fingerboarding, I had in my Instagram bio for a long time that I started fingerboarding in 2008. That was when I was in, it was either the seventh or the eighth grade. I saw kids just like fingerboarding on textbooks. They would use ramps as textbooks, and I thought that was cool. And so I actually got my first tech deck was I got it at Kmart, which is no longer even around anymore. But and I went home and bought one that day, and I learned how to ollie that day too, and the rest is history.
Wait, so you bought a tech deck, learned the ollie same
I
day?
learned the ollie on the first day because like at the time I think Techdeck had like their old like if you I don't know if anybody remembers their old instructional videos from like 15 years ago, like it's just how to ollie, and I somehow was able to figure that out on the first day.
That's impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, thank
You're
you.
like a
Ollie,
prodigy.
it was a Ticonderoga #2 pencil. I was getting over it. I was just like, oh, I figured it out.
That makes me so jealous, I guess you would say. I'm gonna throw it out there. Like I learned the ollie purely on accident. I didn't even know that an ollie was even possible. So I go way, way back before like the internet and stuff. But hearing people first day, knowing that like you had at least a 6 month head start on me, absolutely crazy. So Kmart, Tech Deck, ollie first day. So from here, you're just hooked.
I was hooked. I've been absolutely hooked. There was a time where like I didn't fingerboard from somewhere when I was around like 16 when I got into real skateboarding, and back to COVID, which is when I got back into fingerboarding and skateboarding at the same time. But yeah, fingerboarding has just been a huge part of my life ever since then. I've always loved it. I didn't start creating content at all till 2020, but I'd always just been doing it with my friends, building little weird ramps out of books and stuff like that.
This content creating journey, it started 3 years ago in 2020.
2020. Yeah. I remember I started my account in like April 2020, near the end of the quarantine, actually.
What got you to being like, I like fingerboarding, now let's make fingerboarding content?
Well, like I just realized like I just realized I was able to do it. Like I was like, I looked around and I was like, I can do this. So I might as well do it. I got the time, like might as well. And I just started doing it, making it. I remember I would upload a trick video every single day. I did that for like 3, 4 months at the very beginning. And that was how I got that initial growth. I think you mentioned that to me
Mm-hmm.
at one point when we talked in person.
Yeah, I was just like, just upload something every day and eventually like it'll take off. That's just how I got that from Mr. Beast, by the way. So shout out Mr. Beast on that.
Yeah, shout out Mr. Beast. If any nobody should listen to me of how to create content, please just listen to Mr. Beast. He knows everything.
Well, I mean, Mr. Beast is great for just YouTube as a whole, but like I feel like you're the Mr. Beast of
No, please don't compare me to Mr.
fingerboarding,
Beast. No,
like
no.
for fingerboarders, like our
I would
niche like
disagree.
little field.
I would personally, I think I would have to give that title to David Jones, or maybe even Gription. I don't know if you guys are. I don't know if you know Gription and David
I
Jones.
do.
Their YouTube channels are just. I would honestly say they're both just way more professional than mine are. Mine is a little more raw kind of style to it. But they know what they're doing. They were a big inspiration for me to kind of figure out these algorithms on long form videos as well. So definitely they are more close. Definitely they are closer to Mr. Beast than me. That is 100% fact.
David Jones and his content. He actually went on like a hiatus and then he just got back into posting videos like probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And
I feel
so,
like if I had to guess, I feel like he just didn't want to be boxed into like the fingerboard world because like I said, he is a really creative and talented video maker. I feel like he just kind of wanted to do whatever. And I've seen watched other videos he made that aren't about fingerboarding that are really good as well. So
No, I feel that he's still young, still trying to figure things out. And so
oh,
I
yeah.
think that he took a little hiatus, a little break, and I see him now. He's posting stuff again. And so I'm definitely excited for the content. And Gripson, I think he's from Canada, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, he is. I've been talking about doing a collab with him for the longest time. It's just never happened. Our schedules have never lined up, but I really enjoy his content. It's only ever gotten so much better. Like every video he posts is better than the last one. Huge shout out to him.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've been keeping track of his journey as well. His stuff is definitely getting better. I think he's finally figuring out like,
I feel like he definitely works with somebody. There's no way somebody's on his team that's helping him. Like if he's doing that all by himself and I'm wrong, that is just absolutely the most impressive thing I've heard in a while. But when are you getting him on the podcast?
he is on my list. There's just so many cool people to like interview and get on the podcast. It is
Yeah, definitely.
absolutely like crazy. Like people are like, oh, when do you get him? And I'm like, I can get him, but I'm like, I mean, he won't even come out for like another 4 weeks, 5 weeks, something like that. Cause there's just so much going on in the community. There's so many cool people. There's so many events. There's just so much. There's a lot happening right now in the fingerboarding industry. It's wild.
There's
It's hard
more
to keep
events.
track of it.
Like a new event is getting announced every single day. Like I'm even thinking about doing my own event. I've been talking to a skate shop owner around here, and I just would love to do something like that. I think it would be the coolest thing ever.
Well, drop a comment if you want Jack here to start his own event.
And let me know where I should do it. Cincinnati, Columbus, Louisville. Let me know.
Exciting, lots of options. So yeah, let us know in the comments what you think. All right, so for people that don't know, we talk about like, you having a huge following, but like, I don't know if people understand like how big your following is. So even for like people like me, I've got like 1,300 YouTube subscribers, which to some people are like, oh, you can go live, you're doing it, you're making it. And then I look at someone like you who's sitting on literally like 250,000 YouTube subscribers, which is absolutely
Uh,
bonkers.
The thing about people look at followers like it's everything nowadays. Like more followers, like definitely does not mean more money. Like I said this on my story just probably about a week ago. But I feel like just a higher follower count is just a representation of you understanding the algorithm better than the next guy. And if you put a lot of effort into understanding the algorithm, finding out what makes people hit that follow button, and you put it in your video, you'd be surprised with how fast you can grow your accounts. Anybody listening to this, you can do it. You can have what I have.
Key takeaway would be consistency because you're extremely consistent at what you've been doing over the last 3 years.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, definitely. Once I haven't posted in like a week or so, I start to feel bad about it. Like I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I'm stressed. I haven't gotten a video out. People are gonna forget about me, all that kind of thing. But that's definitely what keeps me going. It's just the stress in the back of my mind.
That's kind of how I am with this podcast. I get to a point where like I've got a little bit of leeway. I'm like, all right, I've got 2 episodes recorded. I got like a 2 week break.
Oh,
And then like
that's when it all goes down,
I
man.
know. I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, cool. Like I'll take 3 or 4 days off, just do me. And then next, I get back and I'm like, all right, I have like 6 days to produce a whole nother episode. And I'm like, what happens? Like, what happens?
That week goes by so fast, man. And like you're just busy, like the last one, looking at the analytics of the last one, like feeling like you're being productive. But yeah, it goes away.
Well, there you have it. All right. So TikTok is actually, is it bigger than your YouTube? Because you have about,
TikTok, I'd say I'm more consistent on YouTube. And the truth is, I don't really upload to TikTok anymore. I switched it all over to YouTube Shorts for greedy reasons. YouTube pays more money than TikTok does nowadays, and I just like the viewers that I get on YouTube a little more, I think.
all right. So I know like you are sitting a little over like 500,000 followers on TikTok, which
Right.
is, that's nuts. This is wild. You're like, I have 1% of your followers.
I just can't stress enough that like having a lot of followers just it doesn't mean a lot. Like, I mean, it is really impressive, like to have a higher number, like not even like, but to have a higher number than the next guy. I mean, it is an accomplishment, but if you can understand the algorithm and just put that into a few of your videos, you can grow like that. I swear it's possible for anybody. I promise.
So what is the hardest part about starting a channel and getting it to where you're at?
So, I mean, a lot of people like when they start making videos, I feel like a lot of people can like put out bad quality content at the first. or at the beginning rather, if you learn how to make like high quality content and make that as your first post, people are going to notice that. They're going to be like, oh, this guy knows what he's doing. Like there's a new guy who came out. I think he does like the Hobby Lobby fingerboard finds. You know who I'm talking about?
Fingerboard Christopher.
No, not Effie Christopher. He's awesome too.
He is
His
awesome.
name's
Shout
like
out to you.
his name's Jake. I don't know, but he's made like just a few different posts on Instagram, and I noticed him, and I was just like, wow, this guy clearly has some skills with a camera and editing. I'm really glad he's applying it to fingerboarding, and I think that can make you really stand out at the beginning, is to have high quality as your very first post.
Let's say for me, let's say somehow like I'm able to literally like quadruple everything and I get to a status of close to where you're at. What would be a struggle of basically maintaining all of these followers, all of these subscribers?
That's definitely where it gets tricky. You have to make high quality content consistently, and then sometimes the more consistently you go, the content, the quality of the content, like the consistency goes up this way and the quality can go down this way. You got to find like that balance that's right in the middle right there, which is honestly what I'm trying to do right now. I think I'm doing a better job of doing a better job of it now than I was a while ago, but getting everything even like that, it's tricky. It's a hard game.
So let's talk about the good parts of this. So now that you're kind of like sitting on top of the mountain, like, are you getting like brand deals, or like are you getting like
No,
looked at, or people approaching you, or
I don't really like doing brand deals too much. I really like to stay true to myself, and like I get just like stupid offers, like some like not like a lot of money or anything, but like it'll just be like for like a wallet, and I'm just like, why would I tell anybody about a wallet? Like, and there are anybody people who just accept anything, they'll do whatever it takes to get money. But there's been like one or two ads that I've ever done because I thought my audience would actually enjoy the product that I was promoting. I could just never, like there's people that even do like sports betting ads. I would never ever do that. Just couldn't do anything like that. And I think it dilutes your brand.
no, I agree. I actually respect that a lot. You're choosing authenticity over everything, which is very
Yeah, I
admirable.
don't want to put all my eggs in the content creator basket. But as a result of that, I don't have to like if I was a full-time content creator, I'd maybe have to think twice about that. But since I work 40 hours a week in restaurants, like I can do what I want with it. I can have fun.
That's what I like about like your whole mindset. It's basically like you can't be bought. You want to do what you want to do and stay true to you. And I respect that.
Mhm. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
definitely too many people who are just will do whatever it takes. They will sing, people will sink really low to get views nowadays. Like you've seen it, I've seen it, everybody's seen it. Like people go very, very low.
It's hard to not let stuff like that kind of change you. And I've seen a lot of it over the last 2 or 3 years. Like people just blow up and it just gets to their head and they just
Mhm.
self implode, I guess you would say.
Exactly. Like I've definitely made some videos that I would look at and consider cringy looking back on them, but I don't regret them. But yeah, definitely, it's just crazy. Like I can't. I don't know. I'm trying to say that people just sink really low in a lot of different ways, but it's crazy how it happens. Like
You were fortunate enough at one point to have Techdeck look your way. And I want to say that you were sponsored, or were you on the team, or like
so
what
I was
happened
on the
there?
Techdeck Flow team. I joined in I can't remember if it was 20 September 2020 or 2021, but I was on their team for about a year and a half.
Man, so you know they just came out with a Fingers of Fury 2 movie like what
I
what
saw that. Yeah, I
a
saw
few
that.
weeks ago, I guess, as this would
Yeah, I
be
checked it
recording.
out. It was good. It was
It's
really good.
fire.
Everybody
It's
in it killed
fire.
it.
I'm a little sad they took about 15 years to produce a whole new sequel, I guess you would say.
Yeah, I think they just like saw the Fingers of Fury name. They were just like, let's knock this out again. Like, let's do it again. Let's get some content out. Which I don't blame them at all. And their team is just fantastic. Everybody on that team is a wonderful person. I have loads of respect for everybody that rides for them still. But they all did such a great job. They're all very talented.
So how does one even get on how does one get on the Tech Deck Flow team?
So at the beginning, I would honestly say like I was shooting for the stars. I was like, I want to get sponsored. Like I want to get the biggest sponsor I can possibly get. So I started using Tech Deck stuff. It was when their wooden performance series came out. And I started using those because it was a step up from the normal ones. I always just use normal Tech Decks also. I just started using their board in all my videos, and they eventually noticed and followed me.
That's nuts.
Basically,
So
I supported their product, and they took notice.
did they just reach out to you like on Instagram, or like how did that first initial
Yeah,
contact look like?
they just sent me they followed me first and were interacting with my content. Like I could tell they liked it, and they just messaged me one day and said, "Would you like to join the team?" And I said yes.
I would lose my stuff like if I got a message saying like, hey, like Techdeck wants to sponsor me in my early days, like I would have
Yeah, I
absolutely
was quite
lost it.
excited. My account was really small at that time because a lot of people don't know Techdeck sponsored me before I even had 1,000 followers. Like, I don't think anybody realizes that. That was a long time ago.
That's wild. So there you go. This is should be inspiration to anybody out there who's dreaming big right now. Like this is an amazing story.
Just support who you think makes the best product. Support who you think is doing well, who's doing the good things for the fingerboard scene. That's what I recommend. And then if they like what you're doing, they're gonna hit you up.
Man, and so since then, you've now kind of branched off and you're now sponsored by like at least one or two other companies,
So
right?
I've got one sponsor right now. It's Blistered Fingers. He started out as a wheel company. Shout out to Bailey. He's making trucks now as well. I've been riding his wheels for quite some time. Let me see if I can get it on there. He does the urethane wheels. You can see the logo right there.
Yeah, if you're watching the video version of this, he's throwing up his board. Shout out to Shout out to
Uh,
Bailey.
yeah, Bailey's awesome. He's the man. He sponsors all kinds of events around here. I'm pretty sure you've worked with him
Yeah, and
pretty
had him on the
closely for.
podcast too.
Oh yeah, that's right. I totally forgot he was on here. Bailey, I'm sorry. I didn't even listen to him.
No,
So
you're all good. You're all good. But no,
I'll have to listen to that.
me and Bailey, we're definitely doing some stuff, and Bailey's doing an amazing job of just like supporting and just helping the growth of the
Mhm.
community. Like huge shout out to Bailey and everything he's doing.
Yeah, I've been watching him from the beginning, similar to how you said you watched me from the beginning. He reached out to me when he just started his company and asked me to make a review of his wheels, and I got him, and I was just like, I'm gonna make a full YouTube video with these. And ever since then, we've just had a really great relationship. He tried to get me on the team. I was weary of having another sponsor after I had left the Techdeck team, but he eventually convinced me to join, and I'm happy over there. I really like it. Everybody over there is insanely good at fingerboarding too.
He's got a lineup for sure of team riders. Like huge shout out to the team. I know the team is a little on the younger side, but I'm excited to see like where that company goes and how those team riders and stuff start to develop those skill sets. So
Yeah, they're definitely only going to get better. It's crazy how good people are at fingerboarding at such a young age nowadays. Like, we were only doing kick flips and tray flips and like maybe a kick flip back Smith grind when I was 15 years old. But these guys are doing, I can't even name the tricks. They just look insane to me nowadays.
it is crazy the bar and the barrier now for fingerboarding. Like when I started, if I would have looked 15 years in the future and saw what I saw now, like I couldn't even process what's even going on now.
Dude,
Like
like it's like you mentioned the Fingers of Fury video. Like if you go
Mhm.
back and watch that original one, like so the tricks are cool and stylish, like and it's just it has this really cool like nostalgic feel to it, and that can't be matched. But the tricks themselves are like if you tried to put that out in a video part today, people would say it's subpar. Like anybody can do this. Like, and I don't blame them.
It's gotten to the point now, I feel like we see so many crazy tricks and combos on a normal basis now that we almost become a little desensitized a bit.
Definitely, it's like real skateboarding. It's like for their trick of the year, the Street League trick of the year
Mhm.
contest. Like when they show another guy going down a 40 stair handrail, I'm just like, yep, there's another guy flying down the biggest handrail I've ever seen in my life. It's insane. It's
It
crazy. Like
is.
once one person finds out it's possible, everybody does it. So
Yeah, we talked about it on the podcast. I think the episode before this one, we are talking about how like when I was growing up, Tony Hawk in the 900 was like supreme, and now I feel like all the
dude,
new
I just
kids
saw a
are doing
video
900s.
of
Like,
there was a kid doing back to back 900s. Like he did 900, came back down 900. I was just like, it's just a little kid.
oh, it's like half of the people from Asia are doing a lot of those like really tight spins, those like 540 indie grabs, and just
Mhm.
doing it
And if you
like
look at like the top street league female pros, like the Raisa Leal and Chloe, they're just insane. Like they're doing like backsmith kick flips out on handrails. Like it's insane.
at like 14 and like
Yeah.
in contest. Like, what?
I know, like if you're not flipping in, flipping out by the age of 12 at this point, like your skateboarding career is over. Like it's
And it's
over.
so true. We were talking about that as well. Like when I was growing up, if you could kickflip 5-0, kickflip out, or just flip trick grind, flip trick out, like
You're on
you
your
were
local
good enough
shop.
to, yeah, you
Yeah.
were good to be like pro. And now, like, that's like the standard. Like, if you can't do that, we don't even talk to you. Like,
No, yeah, it's like, yeah. And also the standard is being able to get your stuff out there on social media, but that's a different ball
that's
game.
a whole nother
Yeah.
podcast. You started a fingerboarding brand.
Yes, so it's called Fingerboards with a PH. I've got one right here. This is the one that I've been using. It's gone through 2 events, a couple YouTube videos, and just a ton of sessions.
Still
It's
holding
holding
up.
up real well. It's a 32 millimeter graphic, and it's made with a Create Your Skate mold.
Tell us about the cat, the graphics. This is like the
Yeah,
first
here,
design that come out of the gate, right?
I've got a clean one over here for the people that are watching on video. Place
Watching
an order from me. This you could get this very deck right here. But the cat, it's an actual photo of my cat. I took the photo. I had a photo shoot right over here in my spare bedroom here, and I enhanced it with AI, and then I made the orange and black background with AI as well. So I'm joining the AI revolution here, and it's working out.
I've been looking into the AI stuff as well. I'm not very artistic. I think I've mentioned that probably 2 or 3 different times on different podcasts and stuff, but it's AI is pretty crazy, pretty crazy. So
It's
I've been kind of
insane.
messing
Graphic
around with it.
designers they're about to be done. Like graphic designers are going to be gone. I don't know if you saw the new South Park special. I'm a big fan of that.
I'm a huge fan, but I haven't watched it probably in like a good 6 months or so.
But the premise of the new special was that AI is going to take over all these jobs, and like there's gonna I don't know, you gotta go watch it, but AI is going to take over everything if South Park is right as they usually are. So
It's I believe it. I'm an accountant. That's what I do for a living. I'm a financial analyst, and I mean AI theoretically could easily take over my job. It's all
and
numbers,
dude,
and
yeah,
so it's
be
like,
ready, be
yeah, I'm
ready.
like to tell a
Yeah.
computer to basically like analyze all of these like accounts and basically print off reports and all that. Like a computer could easily do that. It's got me worried. So I'm hoping this fingerboarding thing works out so I don't have to worry about it.
Nobody's doing fingerboarding like you, man. Nobody's doing fingerboarding like you. You're trying, you're figuring it all out. I respect the hustle. You're doing a great job, man.
I appreciate it. We're only getting better and better, and we're just we're on a roll, man.
Awesome, man. I'm excited to see what the future holds in store. I'm hoping that the tour can maybe stop in Cincinnati maybe next year. What do you think about that?
It's definitely on the list of potential stops. It is
Cool.
it's not too far away. There's a huge scene out there. Like you never know, USFL might pull up.
Yeah, we should. You should definitely. I know the event that Zach holds, Z holds 67, the owner of Cryptic. I got to give a huge shout out to him also. Before I go into his talking about his event, he's the one who taught me how to make decks, and he's just a complete open book. He was so helpful. Huge shout out to Zach. He's a wonderful human being and one of the best fingerboarders I know. But he throws the only event this was my biggest inspiration to throw my own event was he throws one here every year called the Queen City Sessions, which you actually made it to a couple years ago. I'm not sure if you were at the most recent one.
No, I missed this one, but I went to the year before this one. That's when I met you originally.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah.
And but that was my first exposure to any kind of fingerboard event. If you guys haven't been to a fingerboard event, there is just a vibe. Like I can't explain it any other way. They are a straight vibe. They are so much fun. Like they're like 5 hours long or whatever usually, and it flies by every single time. Like ask anybody, Levine will tell you the exact
Yeah.
same thing too. Like everybody just has so much fun at these things, and nobody cares who you are, what you look like. It's a vibe.
No, most definitely. The amount of information and the amount of people that you meet, it's like,
And the gear you get to try.
yeah, and the
Like,
gear that you get to
yeah.
try. So, like my very first fingerboarding event, I was just like you. I used Techdecks for my entire life, basically, until literally 3 years ago. And then I got out of COVID, got back into COVID, whatever, and I switched over to the Pro Series wooden decks. And so I was using that for about 6 months. Went to my very first event. So I couldn't justify like spending $150 for a setup. And then I went to my very first event. People are like, "You're using a tech deck?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Have you tried anything else?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Dude, try this." And I'm like rolling his fingerboard, and I'm like, "Dude, your wheels are so smooth." And he's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, bro." Like,
Get that first feel of some FBS.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
like I can't remember what wheels they were, but I mean they were just butter on just straight
Oh
butter.
yeah.
And so I was messing with the setup for like 20 minutes or so, man, and I fell in love. Like I went home from that event like I had to buy $150 setup because I'm like I can't like not do it now. And so to go from I'll never spend that kind of money to leaving an event saying that like I had that's like literally the first thing I was just like I gotta go find a new setup like
Yeah,
before
it's
I'm like
worth the
looking
money
everywhere.
too. Like I bought These Black River trucks, I've only replaced the bushings on them. I've had them for over a year, and I've used them in literally every piece of content you've seen me put out over the last like year and a half, and they are still holding up strong. Like this stuff is worth the money, like especially Black River trucks. I love Black River trucks. What kind of trucks do you like?
I'm a dynamic guy, to be honest with you.
Really?
I like dynamics primarily because of pricing and color options. I can go either way with Black River or dynamics. If Black River was probably a little bit cheaper, I would probably go with Black River, but I go purely just off of pricing and color options.
I would like to try the new Black River trucks, but the Black River 2.0 trucks, they just last so long. Like it's crazy. I've actually never owned a set of Dynamics. I've never mustered up the energy to buy them myself, but it's because of the inverted kingpin thing. I know a lot of people like that because you can like dip your Smith grinds lower and stuff like that, but it's never been a huge issue for me.
I mean, it's always been a personal preference. It's one of those I mean, regardless of which side of the spear you go on, I mean, they're both solid trucks. They're both going to last you forever as long as you take care of them. I mean,
Yeah,
I've got
definitely.
setups that have you can even see the graphics. They're completely like just thrashed. And I mean, they're still solid setups. The trucks are still solid. Everything's good. Even wheels, like, I roll abstracts and Wasaki's. And so like I've been riding on these for like literally a year and a half, and they're still roll like they're brand new. Actually, the abstracts that I have on right now, I looked at them in comparison to like a brand new set of abstracts, and like I've worn them down where they're thinning out
Like
like
real skateboard
yeah,
wheels.
like real skateboard wheels. And
Yeah.
I'm like, are the new ones like bigger? And it's like, no, I just wore the old ones down so much that like the new ones look bigger. And I'm like, whoa. So I might
That's
be riding
cool.
on minis now. So, but anyways, like if you buy a solid setup, I mean, it's gonna last you forever as long as you keep up with it.
Yeah, just keep the bushings fresh and you got yourself a good setup. I need to find a way to make my graphics last a little longer with my new board though. Like, but my decks, like these are like not made with like insanely expensive material, just normal like wooden veneers and stuff, and they just last forever. Like fingerboards can take a lot of damage.
So are you right now? I think you just have the one graphic, or do you have multiple things going on?
I've got just the one graphic right now. I'm about to do a Photoshop for my Christmas drop, which by the time this comes out, you guys will probably be, you might have even heard the announcement. But I want to do, let me know if you think this is a good idea. I want to do another one of these with my cat on it, but maybe do like a Christmas theme, like maybe put him in a Santa hat, something like that. Let me guys know if you think the cat is the good way to keep going.
Yeah, drop it in the comments. Let us know what you think. And so are you rolling one mold, two molds? Like what do you got as
I
far as
got
shapes and stuff?
So I got another mold coming in the way. So I'm probably going to do some graphics with the old mold and some with the new one. So be on the lookout. We'll have a new shape coming out soon. A longer, more mellow shape. That's more like the more like resembles like a smaller version of an actual skateboard rather than a fingerboard. So
More authentic. I like it.
yeah.
Okay, okay. What other hobbies do you have besides fingerboarding?
So we talked about golf. I don't want to bore people with golf too much because I don't think fingerboarding and golf really crosses over too much. But yeah, I've been playing guitar longer than I've been fingerboarding. And before I started my fingerboarding page from 2019 till up until 2020, I was in a band and we were doing gigs and stuff like that, which kind of just ended with COVID once COVID happened, like all the bars closed that we were playing at. So it's just like it was kind of over. But I don't really do a whole lot of music anymore because it takes a lot of time to sit down and learn stuff. And like I said, I'm working like 40 hours a week. And other hobbies, I mean, I like to hang out with my girlfriend. I like to hang out with my cat. I'm big into like roller coasters and stuff like that. And every single year, I go see a few different Fish shows. The band Fish, I don't know. That's actually where I got my name. Fingerboarder was a play because the band Fish uses a PH to spell it, and I was just like, let me do Fingerboarder with a PH. And I go see them every year. I'm really looking forward to my trip to New York City coming up here in December to go see them play at Madison Square Garden.
I'm always curious how people come up with their names and stuff. So that's interesting.
There's some interesting ones nowadays. Like I'm just like, okay, like yeah, I'm like it works, but okay.
Mine's so like straightforward.
Exactly. Like so is mine. Like I mean, people like are really thinking outside of the box with these things nowadays.
I
It like
like it
reminds
though.
me of
It's
like the old Mike Schneider videos, like the ones that just like have a title that are just it's just so weird. It just doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm talking about? But like I remember just like Mike's old fingerboard edits would just have like
oh,
a
you're talking
title.
like old. Okay.
Yeah, like they were just like the ones you would put up on YouTube just had like no like that it was just random words is the title of the edits. People have always gotten crazy with that kind of stuff.
Somehow it works. I don't know how or why, but sometimes it just works.
It's because we're so niche.
You got to crack the code, I guess, to crack the code.
Yep.
We've got questions from the internet.
Oh boy.
I know. So we got on Instagram and on Facebook, and we asked the internet to ask you some questions.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so we got a few. I've of course I kind of knew you're already popular, but I was like, man, you got a nice little list here. All right, so we've got what do you do if there are no events around? Do you get bored?
If there are no events, like I said, I really want to throw my own one. Finding people to fingerboard with is honestly one of the biggest struggles of fingerboarding. Because, like I said, it's still a super niche thing, and people don't really come out of their houses to do it. So to get people to come out and fingerboard is honestly kind of a difficult thing for me. I'm always reaching out to new people. I feel like having the online community really helps with that. Just have friends you can talk, like internet friends you can talk to about fingerboarding if there's no events around. I think that would help a lot.
All right, question number two. What is the hardest trick you can do?
The hardest trick I can do. So over the summer, I'm not sure I can still do it, but I got switch big heels on lock. I'm not the king of hard tricks. Like I just am not the king of hard tricks. I've done some really hard ones. Like at one time or a couple different times, I did a tray flip, under flip, but somebody else is going to be able to knock this out in 2 seconds. Like I'm definitely not the gold standard of fingerboarding by any means. So me claiming I can do the hardest trick is kind of, I don't know. I don't do anything that's really that hard to the best fingerboarder out there today. So.
All right, question number three. This is actually probably the most philosophical question ever.
Okay.
To fakie or to nollie?
To fakie or to not, definitely nollie for me. I'm very proud of my switch game. That's one thing that I just think I have on lock. Like I can switch flip and switch tray. I can get them really high off the ground. I honestly do switch more than regular nowadays. I don't, it's crazy. Look at my videos and you'll see.
Switch is becoming my personal favorite stance. I struggled with it for a long, long time, but
Once it
I
clicks, it clicks.
it does. It feels better than all the other stances, which is weird, but it's definitely like the worst stance that I have,
And
obviously.
just like
But
sometimes like the way you go to ledge with your hand like this, like just doing like a switch flip to nose slide or whatever, I swear it is like the best feeling trick. It feels way better than a regular kick flip to nose slide. It feels a lot more natural like once you get the hang of it.
and I have such a large paw that like when I do a switch flip, there's sometimes depending on how I do it, I can't even actually see the trick because my hand is in the way
Really?
of like my view of like the board because it's just the motion of it. It's so weird.
That's cool though.
Is that just me or is that let me know in the
No,
comments if that's weird?
I might for definitely not for me.
All right, question four. How long did it take you to get good at fingerboarding?
Well, I don't know if you want to call this good, but like I said, I was able to ollie on day one. But I mean, I have no clips or like I always just kind of did it. Like I just have nothing from before 2020. It's like looking back, I've just been able to do it. Like for like it's just been second nature for so long. It's hard to me to go back and like think about those times where I was learning. Like I can remember doing like my first fakie trays on the table and stuff like that, but to like get good and like have a decent flow, like having a decent flow is what takes the longest. Like a lot of people will have clips and stuff where like it just like they kind of stop in the middle of the tricks, like you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Having that flow, it just comes with repetition. So I can't really say how long it would take, but if you want to have that flow and look like you're really good, you just need to do it for a really long time and be experienced.
What size fingerboard do you prefer?
32. I've always rode 32. I think it was because that's what that the last Techdecks I was using were 32. And I think they look more like a real skateboard than a 34. 34s are just so fat. And a lot of the tricks are a lot easier on a 34. It kind of feels like it's cheating to me also.
That's interesting. I respect that. I
Yeah.
respect that. Have you ever tried a finger scooter?
A finger scooter?
Yeah.
No, I've never tried a finger scooter. If I've never even seen one for sale. I don't even, maybe Tech made them back in the day or something. But if I had no, actually no, I have tried a finger scooter. I remember I did it at Zach's house. Zach, another shout out for you to Z-Hold, the cryptic guy. I tried it once and it just felt super lame. I remember because like it was so quiet. Like just watching back a clip, like because it was I put it in the middle of some fingerboard. I put it in the middle of a fingerboard edit, and the clip just seems so lame compared to like no offense if there's professional or serious finger scooters out there, but it just did not fit the vibe.
I feel that. I can never get the style of finger scooters to like
But it's not
work
like a
for me.
natural thing to do. Like gravity's
No.
really on your side, like it is with fingerboarding. Like you control gravity when you hold a finger scooter, but not when you do like a kickflip on a fingerboard, if that makes sense.
No, definitely. I've got a couple finger scooters and like I mess around with them from time to time, but it's hard to make them look like
Yeah,
just really
yeah.
stylish. Yeah.
Exactly. Like I said, like people like stop and stuff, and like there's just no flow. Like it's really hard to achieve that. There was one account called like the Finger Hustler.
Yeah, the guy
It blew
from
up on TikTok.
Russia or Ukraine or somewhere out
Yeah,
there.
his follower list is just absolutely. If you want to talk about the gold standard of follower, he's got like 5 million on Instagram, and he would do finger scooter stuff, and he would do like little finger dances and stuff, and
Yeah.
that was an art. Like that was true talent.
During COVID, he was the vibe. Like he was,
Mhm.
I remember catching some of his TikToks and they were like the most fire like edits I think I've ever seen
Yeah,
for
he
fingerboarding
knows
at the
what he's
time.
doing. Like
Yeah, definitely.
they were executed very well. Yeah, shout out Finger Hustler.
What's the biggest eye opener for you in the fingerboarding community?
And the fingerboarding community, just like I don't know, just how like cool everybody is with each other. Like that's like it's the same as skateboarding. Like everybody's willing to help everybody. Nobody's a gatekeeper. Like you don't go to the skate park and like if you go to the skate park as a beginner, like somebody's gonna help you. Like that's just the way it is. Like skaters are willing to help. Like, and it's the same way in fingerboarding. Like I don't know if it translates just from skaters being fingerboarders too, or like the actual hobby itself, but everybody's so supportive of each other. It's awesome.
Last question. This one is actually a very popular question. You had 3 people ask this. What is your favorite food or snack?
My favorite food or snack. Okay, so there's 2 restaurants that I've been to in my life that are just I remember them more than anything else ever. Number one, if anybody's ever seen the movie Big Daddy with Adam Sandler, this is the second Adam Sandler movie I've mentioned, but they go to a pizza place in that movie called Luigi's in Brooklyn. And I went there a couple years ago when I was in New York, and it was so good. Like I just had cheese pizza. Like, I couldn't believe it. It was just the best pizza I've ever had in my life. And I remember I got 2 slices. I ate them on the sidewalk, and I went back in and got more. Like that's like this is how good this was. Like so, pizza has always been a favorite of mine. And then the second place is a cheesesteak, if you want to say, what my other favorite food is. But it's from this restaurant called Wario's Beef and Pork in Columbus. It's just a carryout window. It's a $25 cheesesteak. It's the most amazing thing I've ever eaten in my entire life. The most memorable food I've ever had. Like I can't, it's better than anything I've had in Philly. Like it's just crazy.
Well, that's
So
wild.
cheesesteaks and pizza.
Okay. Well, the one in Columbus is not that far from me. So
Dude, you gotta try it.
I may
You
have to
gotta
hop
try
in the
it.
car and take a
Yeah,
two
you
hour
gotta
drive out
try
there.
it. I drove up there for it. Like I've gone there just to Columbus just to get it before because they had this meatball special on Sunday. If anybody's in Columbus and you haven't had Warriors, you gotta get there. You gotta
Firing
get there.
up. Anybody in the Indy area who's thinking about going out there, hit me up in the comments. Let's make this a road trip. All right, man. That's all the questions from the internet. So we
Thanks for the
talked about a
questions, guys.
lot.
That was
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, that was fun.
You got to have some upcoming projects. I know you got the new mold coming in. I mean, do you have any other upcoming projects or anything you want to mention?
Nothing too out of the ordinary. I've got a couple YouTube videos that I want to film. I haven't started them yet. Like I said, I've just been really grinding on the restaurant life recently. I don't have anything like huge in the works. I've got another drop of fingerboards that I'm planning on doing for Christmas that I already mentioned. I don't want to plug myself too hard or anything like that. But other than that, we're just working on building a network and building myself up as a human.
Well, I know you got a long list of shout outs, I would assume, right?
I made a list of 3 people that I wanted to shout out because they just inspire me to be better every single day, or 3 of them. And 2 of them I've already mentioned. That was Gary, who was the recent guest on here, Gary Graves 22. He recently hosted an event in Louisville called the Skate Mare on Elm Street. It was a Halloween themed event. And that just made me like realize my love of fingerboarding again. Thank you so much to Gary for inviting me out to that and letting me play a part in it. You can see behind me, oh, I'm going the wrong way. But these pallets on the walls next to my YouTube plaque up there, that's a first and second place trophy that I won at the event. It was my first ever wins at the event. So shout out to Gary for helping me rediscover my love of actually fingerboarding. I felt like I was kind of losing it there for a little bit. Next one that I haven't mentioned yet is Sausage Ramps. Sausage Ramps, I don't know if you follow him on Instagram.
I
He's
do.
got to be my all-time favorite account to follow. He just brings so much value to the community. Like he just like, I don't know, he's a great fingerboarder. He makes awesome parks. He's done some work for that DIY park that's in NYC. I don't know if you've seen that. He like brought a whole bowl to that thing. I can tell he just really cares about the community and he wants it to be better. So Sausage Ramps, you know what's funny is I literally don't even know his name. So Sausage Ramps, send me a message with your name when you hear this. And the last person I wanted to shout out is the one who showed me the ropes with making decks, which is Zach. It's his third shout out. Z Hold 67, Zach Holden is his name. He is an absolute master deck crafter. He runs Cryptic. Here, let me show you. This is a recent board I got from him. It's just clean, very clean for the people watching. He is an absolute master, and he just told me everything he knows about fingerboarding. I know some people don't always like to share their secrets, but he just told me everything, and I'm extremely grateful for him.
Heartwarming. I like it. I love it. It's
Well,
funny
thank you.
you mentioned how we don't know people's names. So like Sausage Rams, I
Yeah.
actually met him in person twice. I can't tell you his name, but I know his accounts. I know
But
his
you know,
logo.
sausage, like
Yeah,
is
I
like
know
he
him
like litters his
personally.
account with sausages too. So like it's just like, what else are you gonna call him? Like sausage.
It's weird though how it is like in the industry. Like even when I go to events and stuff, they're like, "Hey man, what's going on?" Like I'm supposed to know, and I'm like, "I don't remember. I remember the face. I'm like, I don't remember the name." And you'll tell me the handle, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know you."
Yeah.
And so like no one knows like real names. It's all about handles, and so it's weird how our industry is
And a
like
lot
that.
of people like don't always show their face on the accounts too. So it's just like it's really easy to just like remember them by their account name. I know what you mean.
All right, I got a few shout outs as well. First off, if you made it this far, finger the like button, finger the like button, subscribe. And if you are literally watching this before everybody else on our Patreon account, thank you, thank you, thank you for the love and support. Also, if you want to get great content like this before everybody else, definitely subscribe to our Patreon account. We also have subscription boxes on there as well. And we've got Combo of the Year. Combo of the Year is wrapping up at the end of the year. So if you have not gotten your best combo out there, drop it. Tag us, USAFBL_COTY. Where can
Like the
people...
competition for that combo of the year thing is unreal, man.
Well,
Unreal.
thank you. Thank you. It is
It,
heating up for sure.
it is unreal what people have submitted. My teammate on Blistered, Green FBS, I think is
Yeah,
his
green.fbs.
name.
Mhm.
He is just his submissions, honestly. I think he should win personally, but he is
He's
insane.
been throwing out some fire. I'm excited to see what else is happening. I know that once we get into the final month, the final last few days, things get intense. Lots of submissions coming in. Lots of people trying to squeeze in, winning $1,000 cash
You have
and nine
a
sponsor packs.
$1,000 cash prize.
Cash prize and
Is that the
9
biggest
sponsor
cash
packs.
prize in the history of fingerboarding?
No, I think Black River did maybe 1,000. I have to look into it, but I think they did it for Fast Fingers. Maybe drop a comment if you
Yeah, I
know.
don't know. $1,000 is a lot of money for fingerboarding. There's not
It
a
is.
ton of money in this hobby, so for somebody to take that home, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a winner takes all the cash, and then we have a grand prize winner and 3 runner-ups that'll get sponsor packs from 9 different sponsors. So pretty big deal. So where can people find you on internet if they want to reach out to you or
So
view your
my most
content?
up to date, like where I post like on my story and stuff. If you want to follow like my day to day life, I would follow my Instagram at Phingerboarder with a PH. So that's PH Phingerboarder. That's where like you can see like my daily day to day kind of stuff. I'll post pictures from my job or whatever there. If you want to keep up with me in long form, I would go to my YouTube account, which is Jack Perry, JACKPERRY. And to tell you the truth, I don't upload too much on TikTok anymore. Like I said, I moved it over to YouTube Shorts because it paid better. That was literally it. So,
All right, and I'm going to make it easier for everybody. I'm going to have all of those links in the descriptions.
well, thank you.
Jack, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming on the show. Till next
Thanks for
time.
having me.
No worries.